Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Hey, you will make it TV followers, viewers, supporters, and listeners. Thank you for tuning in to another live segment, a live discussion topic, as a matter of fact, full of insightful tips and advice. And sometimes it's not that you can always show, like, hey, I took these exact tips and advice, right? Have you noticed everybody's path and story is always different? Like, there's a million ways to survive, and there's a million ways for us to break. But I'm dedicating this live topic to a tragic story, because I said it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I don't think people understand that how much mental health and mental health barriers and lack of mental health care sometimes for anybody. Also, because we don't talk about that enough, like, you think domestic violence just fall out of thin air? What are the cycles that create and produce and pretty much bring us results where people feel like they last and ultimate uh, option is just violence, right? But rest in peace to the babies that didn't make it. I think the last update I saw on the story, two of the babies were surviving, or they had survived gunshot wounds. I believe it said it was four babies altogether. And before I even came and did this stream, because I first seen it, the news story, like probably about 48 hours ago, maybe. And I really was, as a real person, like praying about that. A person can look busy or overwhelmed or mind on everything else. It don't take but a second to put your mind in a place where you can actually have a positive thought of prayer, inspiration, of comfort, and all of that for another person. It's not always about us. So people study your life so hard and feel like they can see where you lack or where you missing something, and the whole time you giving a piece of you where they feel like you lacking and voiding. Those pieces are could be spread out or dispersed among others. Not saying that anybody should be out here pouring from an empty cup or trying to do that. Do not quote me and say that that's what I was telling people, but you can be giving yourself in other ways, and that's okay, because like we all gonna need somebody to lean on. Now when Bill Withers sang it, everybody wanted to sing along. Those times actually face us. Why people don't believe in it no more? That's what it said. Not a few of us need somebody to lean on, we all do. Okay, so somebody asked in the chat, in the comment section, what is this stream about? The realities. Read the title, The Realities of Postpartum Depression. Because anybody, we know it take two, you know what I'm saying, to even make a baby. There was just a lot of headline stories lately. It's not new, but we've been seeing it repetitive again lately, of just like parents. You know, domestic violence is one thing. Domestic violence is unfortunate anyway. It could affect a family, but like whole parents though taking their kids out of here, like those stories always take a little bit of us, because it's not just those families that really that's really suffering. Like when we see stories like that on the news and they get publicized, and or maybe some of us empaths, we just feel that anybody could feel that. You might be a mother, have a mother, know a mother, or a father, and nobody want to turn on the news and see that they got in such a dark place that they took the life of their child. And then some of them, it's called a red rum suicide type of deal, where they take their lives and then do their own, right? Um, I just think it's sad. So we're talking about the realities of postpartum depression, and I feel like a lot of people think that just that can only affect you when the baby's like more infant in infancy or toddler. But as we see with a lot of these stories, the kids be all different. If you got more than one kid, for sure they might be different age ranges, right? So, and it's like these stories show us, especially if they end up trying to, or attempt it, because attempted red rum is a whole thing too. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad. No family should ever have to get to. And these are just my reaction, commentary, and opinion about these matters, because guess what? Even if Arthur Teta Sherry wasn't out here using her voice on different platforms about these real topics, they would still be real. Domestic Violence Awareness Month will still be every October. And some countries and people participate, some don't. But I did notice, like I was saying on the stream yesterday, people celebrate any other holiday or observation or reservation. Hey, sweetie poo, what's the deal? Why are you yelling? We love you. Get your blanket. Come on, sit down on the stream with mama. Come on, we're talking to everybody. Because we know babies can and will drive you up the wall, if you will. You just mean it in a jokingly way, but postpartum depression is a little deeper. Some of these mothers don't always even understand, like, where the depression. No, you don't need no soda at this hour, ma'am. Y'all hear her talking about, Mom, let me have some soda. You don't need no soda at this hour. Take a sip and give it back. Because I always try to have a drink when I'm on here. When you're doing a lot of talking, your mouth might get dry and stuff. Most times I have coffee, or I have a soft drink of some sort. Thank you, boo-boo. Are you done? Here. Back to that, postpartum depression would be like a little deeper. They were saying sometimes they don't even understand where the depression come from. Like, they know they love their kids, they know, because to me that's even scarier, right? Like, you might be able to understand when you can pinpoint your depression or emotions, or exactly what is, you know what I'm saying, helping to contribute to ill will feelings you might be having. So these awareness topics aren't going to be for everybody. Trigger warning. Mommy. Stuff like that, because real stories are out here. They exist, right? No matter how triggered you get, or I get, there's still domestic violence. It's not called that unless it's like somebody very, very near, dear, close, endearing to you. Yeah, if they're considered like close to you, domestic, right? And some people be thinking levels like best friend, or just, I guess they feel like certain positions in life, they wouldn't be considered domestic, or like familiar to a person, or like family, right? You got immediate family. They got so many different terms to describe family, because it really is a lot. But it should never be so much that everybody's just like, yeah, let's be violent. Let's be technically morally right when we think about it. Like, no, no, no. But we've been having some good segments lately. That just reminding people too, though. Like, there'll never be. I think once we understand relationships better, and once again, there'll never be a comparison to the type of relationships certain people have been blessed with in life out here. Okay, so you got some children that are born or eventually in life they end up foster children or people come into the world all kind of ways. We talked about this so far all week when it comes to Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Keeping what's sacred, right? Going back to that, making that popular again. What was sacred about family? Everybody ain't gonna be your sister. Everybody ain't gonna be your cousin, your mama, your daddy. Those are their positions. Those are their natural, gifted, blessed positions in one another's lives. And it's just created and designed by the universe like that. See how life bring people. This the thing about life and death. Life and death always been known to do two things. They're going to bring people together and they're going to divide people too. If you let either one of the and they say more often with death, it always do that. Like, it always have. People made jokes about that. People might be quiet about it now. And I mean society. They would make jokes regularly like, oh, everybody come together only for funerals. It shouldn't be like that. And I never was one of those that was just like, yeah, that's right, that's true. Cause see, people come together for life gatherings and stuff too. But why wouldn't you come together if you lose a whole, like, why wouldn't you do that? What do you mean that, people choose that time to point it out. And I find it a little like, just I'm a different opinion about that. Cause that's true about life too. Like, people will wait till you quote unquote gone to give you your roses and stuff, right? Or people could look at life as a blessing and recognize and like be more grateful when they see, oh, okay, like this might be somebody close to me, but like, cause just imagine, we can't see the future. You don't know who all would be at your services, eulogy or funeral and stuff, but because you don't know that, why waste your life trying to plan it and arrange it? You want to spend your whole life arranging your leaving here? That's the thing. They gonna more catch me was doing as best and most as I can to live the experience. I don't want to be busy planning. Like, I'm not saying that planning is not important though, y'all. I know that can sound crazy, but I mean on a soul level when I speak too, because we were talking about yesterday how those rapture group people that believed the rapture was coming was selling their stuff, because they felt like they were finna be raptured. And some stories of some people out there supposedly really started giving their stuff away and selling it. So on a soul level, I do think things be different. Like, you have to really think about what you're doing. So, because they said, I don't know if it was this story particularly, but I think it was something along the line. She was saying like, oh, my kid's with the devil now. Like, it ain't even that the act. We can understand, which you can never understand violence, but towards them so young like that, like a whole gun, like, what are you doing? Then you say they with the devil. People are not, you can't expect average people to like understand you making a comment like that. Like, oh yeah, my child with the devil now. Or you just take a person's life and you say that. If anything, something more of which to a lot of people, that just shows the person's mental state, right? They don't want to believe that it's spiritual of some sort or that she really believes her children are in hell. Like, but it would definitely give those vibes in modern day society for you to just be like, yeah, that's where they at. Like, who are you to say, even after they not here no more, where they might be, right? Like, the average person might not even speak like that. To me, from what I was seeing with all the pictures and photos, which I know you can't just go off of that, they look like a pretty happy family too. That's what gets me every time with these. They like, yeah, Teddy Sherry, everybody has a life before tragedies happen. Yeah, but I'm saying that's what's crazy about it. They be looking so happy and shining stars and lights. It seems like everybody want to get the perfect filter, the perfect angle for these photos to show how happy and joyous their lives are, right? But every time with these type of tragic stories, those be them same pictures they showing like in your memory, or like, we want to remember this person in a positive light. And I do understand that, not to try to make the media look bad or nothing, because see, this is also contributing to awareness. I do believe certain news reports are important. It ain't just about like, oh, they putting that person business in business. Like, you take a whole child life. What business do you have anymore? I think you should or shouldn't think about that before it go that far. Like, and then there's just other forms of abuse. And I mean, it's a beautiful time to be alive too, that more people are, I guess, being vocal about their feelings towards, because abuse of any sort is wrong. But what's up with all these increasing stories of it happening to kids? Whole unalivings, bro. Whole unalivings. Whole other weird type of assaults. Like, come on, bro. When I said it's an interesting time to be alive, I also have a heart for all the youth and the children of today too, because there might even be things I'm just now seeing as a young lady, like, oh, this really the reality when I was little too? Like, this was the real world? Like, what are the kids today going through then? You see the generation, you see the times change as they change. They want us to just go through the seasons and not question whether it's fall, winter, or summer. No. Every time I see a season change, even in history since I've been here, but this is just my opinion, I do notice it. Like, wow, it's 2026 now, or it's 2022 now. You know? Why not embrace it? Every new season, right? So the generation of today, I don't have to like prove myself to anybody or anything like that. I'm just giving my personal commentary. I pray a lot for the babies of today anyway, and somebody might say, what is your prayer doing? Because it's still sad stories all over the news. You never know you know what I'm saying? It's really funny. You don't have a pair of special binoculars for you to see exactly where your target, because just like the devil throw darts and targets to hurt people, God, there's prayers out there I feel like just be landing in people's lap. Somebody prayed from across the world. It's just some of us faith believers out here that still feel that way. That's why they call prayer warriors just that. Do that mean that the other person is less fortunate because somebody else didn't receive? Like, one time I prayed, like, God, please let more of those kids be found that be underground. And I swear, within that same week, it was I saw a news story that they actually had found. They had busted 2 or 3 places. I just stay quiet about stuff like that to myself, or maybe I should testify more, because maybe I feel like I wasn't the only person out here been praying for kids lately, and but I know I had been praying for kids that week, and I saw that on the news, and I was grateful. Like, it make you feel like your prayers are heard. That's like saying, well, why you couldn't save every victim? And it do seem like people have that mentality. Like, everybody should just suffer because they feel like they shouldn't have lost, or they shouldn't have, or somebody they feel like shouldn't have suffered, or somebody. And it's just really weird, because how could you say somebody deserved it but the next person don't? And that's where you got to let judges really do their job in life. Like, I don't care what kind of judge it is. A doctor is a form of a judge to me. They don't have to be, but yeah, you think they can't judge your health anytime you walk in there? That's what they're paid to do. So there's all kind of different judges and where they are in life. We can't try to, because look, the common people will never be certain people in the positions that they sit in. That's why they would sometimes do like community events where you have the police department and fire people come out and sometimes get to know the community. I think stuff like that is very important too. No matter what neighborhood or what, especially in low income neighborhoods too though. But any neighborhood, because like just about anywhere today, you can hear crazy stories that have happened in somebody's neighborhood. It really don't matter. Like the days we live in today, So that's a good thing to do in any community. Always making sure you're hosting as many, I don't know what they call them, but just like hosting as many events or sharing as much information as you can as far as extending resources. And when you do that to people, that's another thing I noticed. They'll, if something don't fall through, let's say you get them a list of 10 resources, right? And they'll call you back like, well, I called every place on the paper and they didn't help me. So you, when you first gave them the paper, that's not you promising that this organization, that place, this group is going to be able to help you. Yeah, that's just like GUIDE. Because, see, domestic violence awareness hotlines, they just have different hotlines where people can call and report abuse or suspicion, all that, Even when it comes to animals, they have their own special hotline. We ain't going to say that enough for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, because that is important for people to know, hey, who can I call or where can I get? Because it's not, I'm so sick of that not being talked about in the world. People be like, where your where your loved ones? It's like a new day. And what do you think the people that come here with nobody and they become legal immigrants, how do you think they end up getting on their feet? It just be them. All their family is back way in another country somewhere. That's weird to make people feel like they can't survive in America just by themselves. Yeah, they can. This is modern day too. At that. They can work 2 or 3 jobs right from home if they want to. Why they can't thrive? So that means you can work 3 jobs without a car. Yes, that's what I'm telling people. In an age like the 2000s, the later 2000s, it's 2025. Now, we're saying these are possible things. We're not saying they're for sure or certain things for everybody, right? But what does it take so you see the mothers less stressed? Because that's all we saying at the end of the day. We shouldn't still be seeing stories of a woman have to, oh, she felt like it got, whatever it was so bad, so toxic, so dark that they are no longer, a few of the 4 are no longer here. A part of the story says something about that maybe her man had just got incarcerated or something, like the baby daddy. See, I don't have to get too far into details. I just said for the most part, I know me personally, I'm going to just be praying for the babies, because I don't think people understand every time with these stories, the type of scars you... Look at this. This is the world we live in. People don't mind scarring up babies like that before they even like old enough to understand fully they own scar. Because I believe a scar can be there so long, you look at it one day and you just really reflect on how you got that scar. That's the same thing it is with the issues of life. If you never do that, it just becomes a scar, right? Like, that don't mean it disappears because you never assess it or think about it more. Once something is like pretty much healed up like that, because I want to argue that, especially when it comes to domestic violence awareness. If you see somebody whole scar healed up, it's over healed, if anything. Like, it got new skin grown over it and everything. Just like when it comes to our emotions. Because they quick to holler mental health when these kind of stories come out. So let's talk about it. If you see somebody with a scar, that's fine. You see the scar. But why point it out 24/7? Why try to tempt them to reopen the scar? I guess that's all I'm trying to say. Why irritate any of that? Especially if it's healed. But I do have an answer. I was just asking y'all rhetorically, what is your opinion? This is my opinion. We do understand you should leave scars alone and just be grateful that they're healed and stuff like that, right? But I believe God does that specifically in the hearts of people, not just so they can show battle scars and show like, oh, this is what I've been through. Look at all these scars I got. That ain't why God allows people's scars to heal me, or that's not why healing miracles exist to me. And I think people just got accustomed over the years of just like abusing every good thing of the world. Healing has always been considered good. I don't care who you are. Because if you're broken or hurting or in pain somewhere, like that's the opposite of healing. Is something's broken, something's damaged. I was just saying though, I don't think people recognize when they might be doing it, but it's like if it's healed, you're really not doing nothing but agitating it, I guess, to sit there and pick at it, or once again picking at it and just pointing it out, like pointing out somebody's scar. Like somebody could have a whole clear visible scar clean across their face, right? And you just point it out every day. Like clearly they're trying to move on. They know that scar is there. They look in the mirror every morning. Like, some people just like that. Like they gonna make sure every time they see somebody with a scar, they point it out. And I just be trying to encourage people to heal. We can encourage one another to heal. That's what this is about. But is that what people choose to do? Or do they go after irritating and agitating the scars? You're giving a new perception and way for people to look at it as they heal. Maybe that'll encourage people to not fear healing as well. Because to me, that's a mental health issue to do that too. Like, if you physically sit there and pick at scabs and you don't know why, like you just pick at your own sores and scabs that's already healed or healing or trying to heal. If you do that in natural life, like they're gonna consider that a mental issue. But people think they can do this on cause I was asking God today, like I wonder if something like what's they called? What's the word? It starts with an S, not symbolism, but like which God, I feel like in his response, he was telling me like pretty much what I was asking him is like, because that's just the first question. I ain't asking God like, well, how would you say? Because that's a whole nother type of wisdom. I'm not asking anybody else like, how would you say a person should, if something like that real, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? It's like where people communicate indirectly or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it makes them feel like, oh, I'm not abusing you. It's indirect. Like God can't see through through lines and stuff. Cause see, with some of these stories like this, the families end up hurting each other. I just noticed like that's a part of sometimes of what they'll go look at, like the social media. Like, what was this? Maybe we'll see signs that she was finna do what she was finna do to her children, or maybe we'll see signs of what she might have been going through in her life. And that's what I'm talking about with social media. Why do you not only see those signs until after the tragedy happened though? But it is good to see people more, because I have seen that on social media too. Like people pay more attention to that. That's why I did that one stream about Eugenia Cooney. It was points I was making with that. Like you weren't talking about that person's story particularly. You're saying like, look, people was calling and trying to get her help. You can't just look anyway on camera and expect people all over the globe on the internet to not care just because you don't, or just because the next person don't. Some people feel like when they see certain stuff, it is signs, or like, oh my God, that person got a bruise on their eye. Are they being beat at home? That's how the internet is today. Why would you get on social media and not think people look at that? Period. You just thinking you taking a photo, they looking at everything. Oh, is that a band-aid on her left finger? I'm trying to make a laughing matter out of it, but it's not funny that they have to go look at people's whole social medias just to try to go get signs of, okay, what could have possibly led to this? And some people sitting here still trying to just show happy, joyous pictures every day. Like, oh, my life is like this. This be the same stuff they go look at though. If you suddenly hear a random, oh my God, they all say the same thing. Like, I would have never thought this person would do this and that. Oh, you saying that because of what you seen on their social media? Like, come on, bro. People got to wake up. That's the same place they go look too. Oh, look, this person was flashing money, or this person had they had a Porsche on this picture. This person was hanging out with P. Diddy. That's why everybody's pulling them pictures out and stuff as it was big news at the time. Everybody like pulling out clips and photos suddenly out of nowhere. Look at who was hanging with who. And look, they could have possibly been together and this and that, right? I just thought it was kind of crazy. Like, wow, you saw all kind of clips and shorts suddenly come out and start floating around after it's at the height of the tragedy. Like, yeah, now victims are speaking up. Now this person is in jail or this person is in and out of court. Now you want to pull out clips and pictures and photos talking about, yeah, I knew P. Diddy was probably doing this and that. It just was crazy, you know. What, boo boo? Thank you. Oh yeah, so that's just how it is sometimes though. But I don't think it's I don't know what we need to look at with that, but it says a lot. Like, you know, that's why when people do see certain behaviors or they feel like they see signs, and I guess you can't say it's a bad thing. It's only when people start territorial overstepping boundaries with it. I think that's crazy. But like with Eugenia Cooney, no matter how many people report it, that's one of the main things known about her story. Like they always just come back and publicly be like, "Oh, she okay." They ain't never just said it on the news because she ain't just went viral like that where she just been on the news because of her weight or her health or anything. But those are the kind of story be making the news just because that person was a huge content creator. Any tragedy happen to anybody is sad, but when they like have a huge influence and stuff like this, uh, I just noticed they try to hurry up and like shed light on their stories because it was a whole social media influencer. It was somebody a lot of people knew, like with this young lady, you know. And when people come out and give their comments and stuff later, they was just like, I never expected this person to do this. This person looks so happy with their kids, and it just seemed like the same narrative every time, y'all. It's crazy. And yes, from the social media content that they was sharing, you know, that she used to share herself and stuff, she looked like she's living a pretty healthy life. They'll try to look for other signs like, is the person eating? Is the person her done? Okay, some of these very violent stories, the person her done and they was eating and something tragic still happened. So what is people point with that? You should just be content wherever you are in life until you can get to the next level of content for yourself. Why are you looking for signs? I'm just trying to teach people that's not always show you everything either. You say, well, that person looked a little underweight. I thought they was sick, but the person looked healthy as hell. They on news stories like this and fights with their boyfriends or whole. It's just sad. Cause why the kids gotta go? Why they have to lose their life? And it's your mama doing it. It's like, what is the world coming to, bro? And you can stand in court later and just be like, yep, they with the devil now. And I know for sure, even if it's just your mental state, like, look at this level of psychosis. Some of these people, I don't even, more haven't been revealed yet, but it could have been, you know what I'm saying, drugs or anything else involved too. But they want people to feel crazy. Like, ain't nothing wrong with raising your kids on your own if you have to, just to alleviate some of that people getting that close to you for them kind of influences to surround you like that. Because it did say she had a baby daddy that was active in her life for a duration of their relationship with some of the births of those kids. And people get angry when you speak on it because somebody has said it anyway. They commented in the comment section. They said, y'all need to stop taking these babies to certain parents' house. That's crazy because in that story that they was commenting on, they was actually talking about a certain man and he was a father, but they could go for women too, like depending on the kind of lifestyle that they have going on. What you see a lot of today too, it's like you could go say you live a lifestyle, but you got a million people want you to look like you live a whole nother lifestyle. Then what you got? I would say that's easier to do to a single parent because we would know they have a full plate already, right? What single parent don't be busy? That's how I'm trying to say that. But back to safety and awareness and tips and advice. This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. They was just saying like y'all young ladies need to pay attention to what men y'all bring around y'all kids. Okay, so because we know bringing them around is usually the first step. A lot of these stories, it'd be like you brought them around, now you got another baby by that one. Woo woo woo. Because now we're talking about how multiple kids come into certain. You don't just become a single parent. One kid can make you a single parent, but if you got multiple, we know that is the reality. Regardless if people don't agree with it or not, you said it's like they on some. Let's just wipe the women of the earth out that had kids outside of wedlock. That's crazy. That should apply to whoever judgment it was. It's saying more. It's saying more these days than none. Like for you to just heavily put all the weight on just the women. Whenever they started in society, they be saying that they don't do that, but like I said on another stream, everybody in prison got a family. Most people. They came from somewhere. And people be like, ew, criminals. And it's like, okay, the prison systems wouldn't be as full as they was if most of us didn't have at least one family member that's either incarcerated right now or been before or will be in the future. That's how I described it on the last stream I talked about pertaining to those matters. But because I do want to dedicate more segments to like my commentary and reactions to prison reform, and especially for women. Because look at this lady's situation. It be stories like this that easily can land a whole woman in prison. Any person, right? But a woman, a mother. And I was saying recently how I wasn't the first one, but a lot of people believe there should be more resources in the prison systems. After stories like this or people that experience stuff like this, let's say she get psychology help and psychosis help and she finished serving her time. Not to say she's going to get time, but they are saying allegedly she is the one who did this to her own kids. Because y'all know stories progress and update and all of that too. But she don't look like sad about it or nothing. Because people be, what I just tell y'all, people be looking at photos and videos harder than you think. So they'll call themselves looking for your reaction on your mugshot. Because I was wondering, am I going to speak on it? But she really didn't look. She looked just over it. She didn't look sad. She didn't look happy, of course, to be in there. But postpartum depression is very real. And if you want to learn more about the realities of postpartum depression, Google, Wikipedia, library books. They're going to have this information all the time, especially when it comes to like triggers or signs that somebody might be. And then what are the resources and more communities? Where does the person call it? You know what I'm saying? And get help if they suffer from that. I'm going to leave some information as well in my comment section. Like as far as hotline numbers, I don't know why I haven't been doing that. I just thought about it. But it's still early in October. As far as Domestic Violence Awareness Month topics, we will be leaving hotline numbers and maybe websites that like assist not just women, but anybody that might feel like they're seeing signs that somebody might be suffering from post-traumatic, what is it called? Post-traumatic depression. It's just sad. They say it's like certain triggers, like it ain't never even the kids. They'll tell you that in psychology, it's never the babies. It's something that the mother, like a state of psychosis they go into. Like, and that's crazy how people there's nothing you can do to inherit it or nothing you can do to deserve it. But it's like nobody asked for, some people inherit mental health disabilities. Some people inherit them other ways. Anyways, mental health disabilities are pretty much invoked in the lives of everybody differently, you know. But post traumatic stress disorder, that's it could come out of nowhere. Is what I'm trying to describe. And I think people think it's only in them kids' infancies or when they babies. Like, no, I feel like a mother probably can end up suffering from that while her children are any age. Yes, that people should have been concerned about that, right? Yeah, it's not a everyday common thing, but it's not rare either. So what are the young single mothers going through where you got more trigger psychosis stories of postpartum traumatic stresses, depression with their kids? And then resources as well is what maybe fathers should do if they, whether you with the woman or not, if you feel like you are seeing the mother of your children, because that might look more like you care, like, hey, I can't force you to go get help, but here's a phone number, here's some services, here's some people I have gathered, because look, both of us care about our kid, right? And I feel like you might be showing signs of post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm sorry, I keep calling it post-traumatic stress, y'all. It's called postpartum, because post is like after labor and delivery. We know pre would be before labor and delivery, where you check in it right before you finna have a baby. But yeah, your kids can be, I feel like you can be any age and get, like, even if it's not postpartum depression, it could just be regular depression or regular, you get stressed sometimes or whatever. But what are those signs and triggers, right? And don't hesitate to share more. Like, I shouldn't be doing this on my own. If you see a flyer floating around social media for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, or when it talks about certain mental health disabilities that kind of lead to violent, unnecessary violent, you know what I'm saying, circumstances in people's lives. Why wouldn't people want to more raise awareness about that? So, anyways, I just wanted to come give my commentary and reactions, positive thoughts and prayers at this time to the family, the surviving family, loved ones of the babies, and prayers for those babies that did make it through the violent attack. Just that they stay healthy and that they keep a clean bill of health moving forward. We wish them healing and blessings and miracles and lots of comfort at this time. And like I said, I will be sharing more like hotline numbers and resources as far. I'm gonna make sure to make that my business this October, either right there on my community board of You Will Make It TV or in the comment section. Thank you guys for tuning in.